Ladies and gentlemen, this is Adam Merrick. You're listening to Ring Awareness, episode 18. That's right, Ring Awareness is now able to buy you cigarettes if you need it. But beyond that,
porn.
NC porn.
Right?
Wow.
Can you buy Playboys at 18?
I don't know, can you?
I think so.
By that voice, you know who my guest is this week. He's got so much style, his mama named him Kyle. Give it up for Kyle.
Hello, people of the internets in New Mexico and wherever else you might be in the universe listening to this. Adam, thank you for having me back again.
Of course, my friend. It took me all day to come up with that.
Really?
I was like, I remember to say that.
I
thought it sounded cool.
I love it, man. Creativity.
Guys, if you missed this last weekend's event down in Lubbock, the Martin Van Buren Tag Team Invitational, you missed one hell of a show, right, man?
Martin Van Buren, 8th president, huge pro wrestling fan. Huge pro wrestling fan. I was reading about him earlier today on my prep.
Oh, were you?
I was totally like, I need to learn more about this guy. Do you know he was the first president who was actually born in America?
Really?
Everyone else had come across or had not been actually born here.
Wow.
So Martin Van Buren, first American president.
I did not know that.
Right? It's kind of an interesting tidbit.
There you go. You guys already learned something. We still got plenty of time.
Yeah.
We're going to learn a lot more.
Got some education going on.
But like I said, if you guys missed this show, you missed one hell of an event. Took place last Saturday, the 23rd, down in Lubbock. Dude, the arena, the Civic Center down there.
Fantastic,
dude,
man.
So
that
nice.
That place, yeah, that setup was really cool. Like,
hands down, the nicest arena venue Destiny Wrestling's ever ran in.
Yeah, oh man, it was, the chairs all had padding. Like, every chair had padding that I saw. Like, which, was always nice for your bums, right? Yeah, the locker room area was huge.
For sure.
Which was pretty awesome. Like, it was a cool setup. It was a very cool place. Like,
yeah.
I'm hoping to go back someday.
Oh, dude, that'd be so nice, man. Such a great venue. Everybody was talking about it.
Yeah.
Of course, this tournament was an 8-team single elimination tournament to crown the very first ever Martin Van Buren Tag Team Invitational Champions. Mm-hmm. 8 of the best teams from the Southwest. We had representatives from California, Texas, New Mexico, of course, Colorado, Utah. Dude, the talent in the tournament itself was ridiculous.
Yeah. There were a lot of guys that I hadn't seen before, but I was really impressed to get to see. And it's just, you hear of these names before, like Martin Casaus.
Right.
I'd heard the name before, but I missed his Tough Enough season.
Oh, did you?
So I'd heard the name, and I was like, I want to see this guy. I want to see what he can do. And,
yeah.
Did not disappoint.
For sure. Well, let's break down the teams in a minute. First off, I want to talk about you actually reffing. I think this is the second show.
This is the second show that I've reffed. I reffed the, what was the name of that other show?
The one in Borrego Pass?
Yeah. We did that show, and that was my first time ever. I think my first match at that show was Dex versus Basura. Those were like my first two guys to get out there and figure out what the heck I was doing. But this show had a different feel to it. Like, it's like comparing it to WWE, which is going to be a good callback for most people.
Yeah.
The Borrego show was very much like a house show. This felt like a Raw or a SmackDown. Like, it was a bigger deal. Like, and leaving it afterwards, I felt it was a bigger deal, and I totally nerded out and got a copy of the poster and had a couple people sign it.
Nice.
The to the two big names that were brought in, as well as the winners. I'm not going to spoil it yet for those of you who don't know, but those 4 guys signed it for me, and that was really cool.
Awesome,
so
dude.
it was kind of a really fun time, though. It was really cool getting to ref and being in the ring. Like, that's literally the best seat in the house.
For sure.
You're right there, and man, some of the stuff, like, it's fun, and sometimes it hurts a little bit more when a guy takes a chop across the chest and you're standing a foot away from him, counting him in the corner, and you're 1, 2, and they hit that, and you're like, oh, that hurt my chest, and I'm not even getting hit. But so much fun. How did
it come about? How did you decide you wanted to pursue being a ref?
Man, I mean, it's something that I always thought about. I've always thought about being a wrestler. Like, when I was in high school, and my buddy Ryan and I, always used to, smack each other around. And we're like, hey, we should get training someday.
Yeah.
And then we kind of put it off, and we took a stage combat class together, which is
cool.
A lot of the same elements, and kind of put it off again after that. But I've always been like, I could ref, and then at least be in the ring. Like, I don't I mean, I'm not young, but I'm 33, which is old in the wrestling business, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't know, I just kind of have been thinking about it for a while, and I mean, literally, I just got a call from Dex. It was like, hey, man, are you curious? Are you interested in this at all? And I was like, let's give it a shot, you know? And so I started training with the DRC, and kind of going through everything I needed to do, you know, and then being kind of brought into the fold of working with and for WW or WWO. Totally
jumping way ahead.
Yeah. So I'm already I'm reffing WrestleMania this year. I can tell you what the main event is. It's going to be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns is going to win. But don't tell anyone you heard that from me. But when I ref that match at WrestleMania, you guys will totally see me on WrestleMania on the WWE Network for only $9.99.
$9.99.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, TWO, man. God, stupid words. It's been a long week.
Dude,
It's been a long week. 13th day of school was today. I'm tired.
You got reason. You got valid excuse, buddy.
But it was, so it's like, you know, I got into the ring, got some training, and I mean, I've always watched refs, and I've always been interested in that. Like, one of my favorite wrestlers, Spike Dudley, started as a referee. Yeah,
true.
And I've always watched him and been like, looking at the way that the ref adds so much to the match. Like, they're always there. Like, whether they're trying to separate people from a street fight, or whether they're just doing a basic match, or the very rare occasion where, you know, there's no referee, like, you feel that, man, like, this is a big deal because there is no ref. Like, the ref adds so much and can also detract. There are a couple pretty bad refs that, you know, when you see them on a TV and they mess up something, like, you're like, oh, like, they detract from that match, and that's not good. But, you know, it's fun to get out there and kind of be in the ring.
Oh, sure.
And it's also easier on my body. I don't have to take all the bumps, and I don't get hit, I don't get dropped on my head, and I don't take a DDT, which is good because I don't know if I could do that anymore. I played rugby for a number of years, and that kind of wrecked my body enough.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know.
Is there something that you've learned that you didn't know, having been a ref now for a little bit, something that you've learned?
I mean, just thinking about your position in the ring, like, as the ref, you're always kind of blocking someone's view depending on where you are, right? So making sure that you're moving, so you're never blocking their view for more than a second or two.
Okay.
You know, and I never really thought about that, but yeah, when you're sitting there, and I mean, I guess I should have thought about it, because I'm pretty sure I used to yell at LT and Jeff the ref to move out of the way when they were in my way, because I was quite the heckler, you know, in my
pre-reffing
days, you know. You know, I think there's a lot of wrestlers, you know, like Thunder, who can attest to my heckling.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, you know, it's what I did, but. You know, but thinking about that and, like, really being aware of you're taking up space in this ring where these two guys are trying to do something, or four guys, or three guys, or whatever amount of people are in the ring with you.
Yeah.
And not getting in the fans' way, not getting in the wrestler's way.
Right.
And you're also that kind of that first line, like, should something go wrong, you're the first responder.
True.
You're there just in case, you know, something horrible happens.
Right.
And hopefully, God forbid that ever happens, because I don't want to ever deal with that. But, you know, you got to kind of think about that and be like, you know, checking on people and making sure that they can actually breathe and not be dead, and that, you know, that they see what's going on, and, you know, figuring out, you know, if they need a second or two, you know, if they had the wind knocked out of them after, you know, a crazy spine buster, like, you know, they need that.
Were you surprised with how much training it required for you to obviously learn everything? I think a lot of people, again, just like how I've said before, is people think, oh, wrestling, I can do that like that. I'm sure there's a lot of people who do the same thing with reffing. You know, that's got to not be hard at all.
Yeah, and I totally, when they asked me, they're like, yeah, can you do this? I was like, yeah, I can totally do this. I'm so, like, I don't even need to be in shape. Yeah. I'm not in shape right now. But... like, I realized, like, the first day of training, like, my arms were sore, my knees were sore, my back was sore, and I was like, man, it's a lot of that, like, that up and down, do a count, up and down, moving around, you know, like, It's a lot of work. It's a good athletic workout, which is, again, part of the reason I love wrestling. It's these guys are athletes putting on a show for us.
Exactly.
And it's fantastic, and I love it, and I really love just the whole atmosphere of it. But yeah, I'm still way too out of shape. Man, I was sweating something crazy after the second match I did. I think I was so much to do, and it's just hot out there too, and there's a lot going on, and that's without even the crazy lights of WWE, where they have the lights to light the ring for the cameras, for the TV.
Exactly.
That adds even more heat to everything, so I can only imagine how those guys do it. But
exactly.
I got to get in shape before I'm ever asked to do it again.
But it is something you do plan to continue pursuing, right? You're hoping to...
Absolutely. I want to talk to the DRC and be like, hey, let's keep training, and and that's something that I can do. Once I get the training and I'm capable, I could travel, and head out to Arizona, head up to Colorado, and just be like, hey, I'm a ref. You guys need a ref. I can do a show.
Exactly.
And, make a little bit of extra money and get some more wrestling experience out there. And
heck yeah.
Make Johnny K mad. I guess he was mad that some ref got booked by just putting on his Facebook, hey, I'm coming to Canada for 5 days. Who wants to book me? And apparently it's a lot easier to book a ref than it is a wrestler. Or get booked as a ref than it is a wrestler. So, they always need refs.
True.
So
exactly.
And doing... But there were only 2 refs at the other show, the Borrego show?
Oh, dude, I don't even remember.
No, there were 3. There was 3, but one only did one match. And I think I did 4 matches that night. I was worn out. I'm glad you were driving back that night. Glad you were driving back both nights.
Yeah, right?
I mean, I stayed awake the whole way back from Lubbock. Everyone else fell asleep.
Everybody else did fall asleep. Thanks, crazy. Robert and Tony.
Right? Jerks. I refed and I didn't fall asleep.
I know.
I didn't want you to be driving by yourself because that's no fun.
Yeah.
Then you'd be like, I'm going to crash, I'm going to crash, I'm going to crash, I'm going to crash. Got to stay awake, got to stay awake, got to stay awake. Oh, my God.
Well, let's break down the teams in the tournament. Again, 8 of the best teams. You mentioned them earlier, Marcus House and the NWA World Heavyweight Champion Rob Conway.
Yep.
First time pairing. They've wrestled each other several times, but, I mean, this was essentially a dream team coming together.
Yeah. Super, super awesome to see these guys and meet these guys. And I'm not super familiar with Rob Conway's work. I know he was in WWE briefly with La Resistance.
Right, correct.
Which is right around the time that I stopped watching WWE. I had a period from 2002 to 2004 or 5-ish.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe even later. When did I start coming to your DWO shows? 2007, 2008? So
yeah, that sounds right.
Basically, I think I was off from wrestling for around the time that Cena started coming up and Batista started coming up and Orton started coming up and La Resistance was there. So I wasn't super familiar with Rob Conway's work.
Yeah.
But the dude is impressive to look at. Holy crap.
Yeah.
He's
got the look.
He's got that look, and and it's pretty crazy. And that belt, man, I got to hold the NWA title.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I was holding it at one point, and I was just like, that's so awesome. Oh man, kind of nerding out. That's
the belt
huge.
Right there.
That's
the same belt Flair held, Dusty Rhodes, Harley Race, all these guys.
Yeah, and it was in my hands.
I did ask you to touch it, remember?
Yeah.
Let me touch it real quick.
Oh man, and I was gonna ask too if I could take a picture holding it, but then I was like, I don't want to be that guy, so I didn't. But now I'm kind of man, I wish I had a picture with the belt. Oh well.
Not the replica, the legit one.
The legit belt. And dude, it was so cool. There was little spots where you could see the paint was just faded and it was worn down in the right ways. This belt has been around for so long.
Yeah.
Such a piece of history.
For sure.
Really, really cool.
And Casals, of course, came from he's in Utah.
Yeah.
But he kind of broke into the scene being on the last edition of Tough Enough.
Mm-hmm.
And he was really cool. Again, I didn't really get a chance to talk to him, so I don't know if you really got a chance. But both were really chill, really cool dudes.
I got a chance to talk to Martin Casals. I guess a spoiler alert during the main event, which he was not part of.
Yeah.
But I got to talk to him a lot during the main event. I was sitting and watching the main event, and he came up and sat right behind me and was like, "I'm gonna sit right here," and I was like, cool, since you're here, I'm gonna talk to you a little bit. It was awesome. Gave a lot of really good insight about about reffing and what was going on, and and how to help that show and that storytelling, and talking to him about where he was coming from and who he's wrestled with, and I guess he and Gallo had wrestled back in the day,
right?
Which was pretty awesome. That like seeing that you get to see someone that you've come up with almost, and
right.
It's really cool. He's just a really, really cool guy, down to earth, and
for sure,
it was just very awesome. And I guess from what you were saying, he should have won Tough Enough, but I guess he had an injury.
Yeah, legit, he should have won. I don't even the guy who won Tough Enough was a joke, and he's not even. I mean, the only person from that season of Tough Enough that has a job
is Cameron.
Exactly,
and she's the best thing ever, right? Her and Eva Marie
need to be taken out and shot is what needs to happen. So yeah, both are really cool dudes.
Very cool dudes.
Unfortunately, they went out in the first round against the DRC, and that was the match I really paid probably most attention to, just because I really wanted to see it. And for me, that was the match of the night. I really enjoyed it. I got to sit with MK, and he was just kind of talking to me a little bit. And the dude's a wealth of knowledge. First off, MK's really cool dude. Yeah, dude.
I got to talk to him briefly, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, really cool. So just the little stuff he threw out there during that match. I mean, the match altogether was great. Kudos to all 5 of the guys in that contest.
I didn't get to see that match. I was in the back prepping.
Yeah.
And but I've heard great things, and that's pretty cool. And the DRC got to use the Fabulous Freebirds rule, I guess, to
correct,
to have all 3 members of the DRC in the ring or in the corner in the match.
Exactly. So they had the extra person advantage.
That slight advantage, which probably helped them a little bit.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I didn't see the end of that match, but I'm assuming that,
Well, let's talk another team that went out in the first round. We'll talk the Canadian Pitbulls, Eric and Elias, one of my favorite teams from Colorado. They're just funny guys.
Yeah.
They've been wrestling in DWO. They've been part of the roster for a little while now.
Yeah.
Haven't seen them too much as a tag team in recent years. Again, us not running shows kind of helped with that.
Yeah.
But when they're together, Eric just in general, if you're not following him on Twitter or on Facebook,
oh my God,
you got to follow him because he's hilarious.
Yeah. Sometimes, I'll go and I'll be flipping through Facebook or Twitter, and I'll see something he's posted, and I'm like, there's no one over my shoulder reading this right now, is there? Because I feel like I'm going to get in trouble for what he's saying.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy is so funny, though.
He's good.
So
He's
funny.
And you would think they would have an advantage going into the tournament because they were the only team with a manager. They had Devin Storm in their corner.
Mm-hmm.
They had some really cool stuff with him trying to get involved. Unfortunately, it backfired. Pitbulls go out in the first round.
Who did they wrestle in the first round?
They wrestled the Fox Stars.
Was it the Fox Stars? Okay.
They did.
Okay.
Another team that did go out in the first round, Brute 66 here.
Mm-hmm.
Mosh Pit Mike and Ray Basuda, who I don't know how many of the videos you saw leading up to the show. They shot probably 30 videos.
Yeah, I've heard of these videos. I've needed to go and track them down.
You need to go find them. It's on their page.
Yeah. I was actually, kind of a little behind the scenes here. I was training, and they were walking around filming one of their...
Oh, were they?
So I need to watch those and see if there's any shots of me in there somewhere looking like a moron trying to figure out, what am I supposed to do now? Because I'm still learning what's what in the roughing world.
And those 2 guys, I mean, they've only been teaming for a little bit now, but they've done so much. Basuda was telling me that they actually wrestled, God, I don't even know their names, but they're the current JCW Juggalo Championship Wrestling Tag Team Champions.
Dude, that's because they both went to the gathering, didn't they?
No, only Mosh went.
Mosh? Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they went.
Else?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
And they wrestled those 2, so they're making their presence known as a tag team for sure. I wish they would have gone a little bit further in the tournament.
Yeah,
they're a great tag team. Of course, Mosh the vet. Basuda's coming up. It's cool just to see Basuda because I kind of saw him when he was first, as you did too, first coming up.
Yeah.
And he's just improved so much.
He really has. That guy in the ring he's just getting better every time you see him, and he's just so entertaining. Totally. Him and Mosh are just fantastic. And there's a video that was shot by Maria. Brute 66 says that they're going to win the Martin Van Buren Invitational Tournament 2015 edition.
Oh, okay.
So next year, they're already putting it out there that they might... I guess they're back into it. They're going to find their way in. I don't know how the teams are decided or whatever, but they're going to get their way in there, and they're claiming victory next year. So So hopefully they won't go out in the first round because they're quite the fun tag team.
They're entertaining, and I like the way whenever they're wrestling, they go to plans. They say plan. You got 66 plans, but losing ain't one is their motto.
Yep.
So it's just funny to hear them blurt out these plans throughout the match. Just
and I haven't seen that yet. So that's pretty funny.
Got to. It's good.
Oh man, yeah. I was actually kind of hoping I was going to get to ref that match.
Really?
Yeah, just because I like those guys and I wanted to see them. It's kind of fun. Like I was thinking about, I was like, who do I want? Like I wanted to ref every match because I just wanted to see the whole tournament, but I also had to do stuff and take a break so I didn't die of exhaustion
and dehydration.
Yeah, that's a lot of wrestling to be doing or reffing to be doing.
And the final team that went out in the first round of the tournament was I believe the debut of the Gentleman Bastards, which
was the debut of the Gentleman Bastards.
Joe Castada and Donnie Amsterdam, both local comedians here in the 505. They were replacing
they were a late addition.
Yeah, who El Gringo Loco got injured the night before, which I was totally bummed because I really want to see La Migra versus the Keepers.
Yeah.
That would have been a cool match, first off, because you got Grande and you got Gallo. Yeah. Two big dudes.
Those dudes are big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Gringo got hurt.
Right.
Or, I'm doing some air quotes, hurt. Maybe the DWO heavyweight champion just didn't want to show up.
You never know.
I don't know about that guy.
So the Bastards, they went out to the Keepers in the first round instead.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
I believe it was their first teaming, so we'll see if they plan to continue running together. It sounds like, I talked to Amsterdam a little bit, it sounds like they're going to try to push this thing as a team for a little bit, maybe get bookings.
They did good together. They had, a good amount of chemistry together.
Yeah.
They had a nice move where they took out Dom with a neck chop and a leg... Sweep?
Okay.
Yeah, and then hit him up with the, the coconut splitter. He grabbed the legs and pulled them apart.
Oh, okay.
But they had some good chemistry together, and those guys were pretty fun. And
nice.
It worked out well. It worked out really well, and I got to ref that match.
Oh, you did? That's fun.
Right. That was the first match in the tournament that I got to ref.
Gotcha.
But not my first match of the night.
Right.
And that was really fun, and that was really, really cool guys being in there. I think I reffed Dom in one of the matches at the other show, but I don't remember. First show was such a blur. Like I don't remember anything from it at all. This one has like so many memories attached to it, which again feels that difference between a house show and like this Raw. Like this one just felt bigger.
Yeah,
and it was a great show. Like great venue, great teams, great wrestling. Oh man, just so much fun. But yeah, and then there was that spine buster that Donnie Amsterdam took. That I legitimately thought for a second. Yeah, at the end, like I went to go check on him. And, I was making sure he was cool. And before I knew it, Dom was coming off the top rope and landing on him, and then Gallo was pinning him. And I was like, "Well, I hope you can breathe underneath there." And I did the count, the 1, 2, 3, and that was the end. He didn't move.
Yeah.
He was apparently okay, but he had this look on his face like, I don't know what's going on. But it was really fun.
Let's move on to the semifinals. The two teams that were eliminated in the next round. We have, of course, the DWO Tag Team Champions of Fox Stars, Shadow Fox and Lucha Star. Still reigning Tag Team Champions. This was a non-title tournament.
Yep.
Dude, those two flying around like crazy.
Yeah, and then when Fox Star went over, was there Fox Star or Lucha? Now I'm getting them mixed up.
I think it was Shadow Fox.
Shadow Fox, yes. Went over the top rope to the DRC on the outside of
the barricade.
The barricade. Oh man, like he got up there, and then that's another match where I was reffing, and like I'm in the ring, and I'm watching him climb up, and I'm like, wait, you're gonna jump from here to there? Are you serious? Like, come on, guys! Like, oh man, it just but he did it and landed on him and took them all out, and it was fantastic. It was a great spot in that match
for sure. Super. I mean, those two dudes, they brought something that no other team really brought to the table in their high flying ability.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always entertaining. I love them teaming together. I think they're a great tag team.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, just like Casals and Conway did, fell to the DRC.
The DRC and that 3-on-2 handicap advantage. Like,
exactly.
It plays out. They're more rested. They can, kind of tweak what they're doing. It's harder as a ref to pay attention to 5 guys and making sure what's going on. And
exactly.
It's just there's a lot going on all the time.
For sure.
There's just a lot going on with the DRC in any match.
In general.
Those guys.
And the last team that got eliminated on the other side of the bracket was from California, Vendetta Pro representatives. We had
Wake up, Adam.
The classic connection, Levi Shapiro, Buddy Royal, really cool dudes again.
Yeah.
Guys that I never met before. But the gimmick was awesome.
Dude, yeah.
21st century old school, baby.
And Levi pretty much looks like Martin Van Buren. Like the big mutton chops, like the hair. Oh, man. Like, for a second, I thought he was the reincarnated Martin Van Buren there for the show.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, those guys were pretty cool. I got to see just like a snippet of their match.
Right.
Which was, seemed like they were doing awesome. But, yeah, they have that what was it? The 21st century old school?
Right.
So good.
And those guys came all the way from California.
Yeah.
What a freaking drive that was for them.
Yeah, did they do that in one day?
I don't remember. I think he said that. I think they said that they did. Like, I'm sitting here bitching about doing a 5-hour drive.
I know.
Those guys drive from Cali.
Yeah, I mean, because from here, I've done from here to LA. That's about a 12 to 14 hour, depending on how many stops you make and how fast you're going.
Yeah.
But to add on another 5 to 6 hours after that, potentially up to like 18 hours of driving, and then do it again on the way back.
Brutal.
The same with the Canadian Pit Bulls. Driving from Denver, that's 9 to 10 hour drive for them. They said
oh yeah, that's true.
It's a long way to go. I don't like being in a car that long.
Yeah, props to those guys for doing it.
And they were a good team too. Like, I want to see more of them. Like, hoping that that they get a chance at a DWO show down the road. Maybe not quite as far of a drive. Maybe if a show happens in Arizona or another Borrego style show, that those guys can come out, because they were really entertaining.
Yeah, I agree. Totally.
Very cool guys too.
For sure. So that brings us to the final, which was, again, a 3-on-2 handicap.
Yep.
The Death Race Cartel going up against the Keepers of the Faith. Mm-hmm. And there was another wrench thrown in here, as MK was announced as being the special guest referee.
Yep.
Of course, he's been on the side of the Death Race Cartel. He's the one who approved them having the Freebird rule throughout the tournament, because he was the director of competition.
Yep.
This match, a lot of good reviews on.
Yeah.
The Cartel... Of course, they were the team who lost this one. In general, man, again, kind of same thing with Basuda. Seeing these 3 guys come up and the way they've evolved. Haven't seen too much of them in 6-man tags, but the stuff they were hitting, the triple Das Boot, everything, dude,
man.
just looked dirty, man.
Dude, they hit that triple Das Boot on Shadow Fox too.
Yeah, they did.
And that I was in the ring with that, like, and watching the 3 of them go and just punt him in the face. Like, I was like, you've got a mask on. I hope everything's still like the same under there. Nothing got disfigured.
Yeah.
Because, man, that triple Das Boot is a
dirty,
brutal looking move. Like, it just hurts.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
they've done so well though. This whole gimmick, the whole cartel thing. Yeah. I'm loving it, man. If you guys, again, every time I've had one of them on the show, I've said you guys got to check out their videos.
Yeah.
Hands
those
down.
Guys, they've come a long way from the Prophet Joshua. Remember that?
Prophet Joshua and Reverend Dex.
That was one of my first shows. Was when I saw them like that, and I was like, what is this? And shortly afterwards, I think they broke up. I think it was Josh and Dex had a little feud for a while.
They did.
Man, they beat the crap out of each other too. Those guys. For sure. Those guys. So much fun to see, though.
Yeah, those 3 are money. A lot of people raved about their performance throughout the tournament, and like I said, real big fan of those guys. Not just because they're 3 of my best friends, but yeah. Well, maybe. Well, no, they're good. They're good.
They are good.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat that.
Yeah, no, they're good. They're good. I don't like any of them personally. I think they're all
even though they
jerks.
trained you.
Yeah, Dex and Josh, Johnny, whatever, they can all blah. Those guys personally. I hate hanging out with them whenever we hang out. It's like, God, I'm hanging out with those guys again.
Right. Well, the winners of the tournament, of course, they overcame all these odds stacked against them. The Keepers of the Faith, which I thankfully did not screw up and call them the Freak Squad.
Yeah.
So worried about that going into the show.
Hey, and you said Lubbock. You didn't say Albuquerque.
Yeah,
that was good.
that was good. I was worried about that too.
Yeah, you were.
But dude, these two guys, I mean, really, if you want a team to win your inaugural, this is going to be a yearly thing. If you want that first team to be huge, I mean, really look no further than the Keepers of the Faith.
Dude, those guys are just awesome. I know I've seen them for a while as the Freak Squad.
Right.
They've got a new name, but pretty much have the same winning attitude, and they go out there and they do what they do. And man, Dom and Gallo, like hats off to those guys, especially for that's both of those teams. That's their third match of the night.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly.
That's a lot of work to
get
out there and do that and be that active and hats off to those dudes. Like, that was awesome. And I got to watch that entire match.
You did.
Again, with Martin Casals in my ear going over things. It's really interesting, too, because you had MK in there reffing and, playing it a little bit towards the DRC side. You know, the shoulders down and you hear 1, 2. Oh, man, they got to have, like, such quick counts.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. But, it was really cool talking to Casals about the working, if you end up being a heel ref someday and, you're working with the bad guys.
Right. And MK did a great job. He just added to that match.
He added so much to that match.
So much more entertaining. Again, I mean, just going back to the Keepers, you have Gallo's a freaking beast, man.
Dude is huge.
He's huge, man.
Yeah.
And then you got Dom, who's like as cool as the Fonz.
Yeah. He totally is like, hey, he's totally the Fonz. Love it, dude. Yeah, totally awesome. Dom is a super cool guy.
Yeah.
I've talked to him a number of times just outside of shows.
Right.
And just talking to him, he's got that PMA lifestyle, that positive mental attitude.
For sure.
Which is just, man, like if more people were living like that, like we'd probably have way less stuff going on in the world that's driving us all stressful and crazy and mad.
True.
Like, we need more positivity in the world, and it's cool seeing a guy like Dom out there doing that.
Yeah, dude. Really cool. So, of course, there was so many New Mexico fans that came down.
Yep.
And props to all you guys for coming down. Of course, Maria traveled with us.
Yep.
You had Karen coming down with her daughter Selena.
Yeah, I saw Karen.
Abron came down. Peter came down with a whole group of his family.
See, I didn't see Peter. I've never met Peter. So
really?
Peter,
cool,
apparently we got to meet. Like, you hate
Future
Randy Orton? If you like Randy Orton, we should just not meet. But
future episode of Ring Awareness. You guys want to get on for sure.
I didn't get to meet him. I saw Abron, and I actually don't think I've ever met Abron in person either. I got to meet Maria,
right?
And immediately gave her crap about Randy Orton,
of course,
because I hate that guy. So bad.
They wrote out some reviews for us.
Yeah.
We're going to start out here with Selena, Karen's daughter. She pretty much just said, my favorite match was the Fox Stars versus the DRC. The show was awesome. It was the best one I've seen all year. I enjoyed going to get autographs after the show.
Nice. It's probably because of the ref during that match.
The ref was awesome
Definitely
from what
helped.
I hear.
Best ref of the show? Quite possibly.
I'm not going to argue with that. We've got Karen, of course, riding in. The Mount Van Buren Championship Tag Team Invitational was the indie wrestling event of the year.
Nice.
Well worth the drive. There was a couple of single matches, a triple threat match to start the show. Yep. Another one due to an injury suffered by one half of La Migra the night before. The Woo Man, Arturo, was in the house. She was disappointed that Brute 66 did not make it past the first round, which we both shared.
Yeah.
The reigning DWO Tag Team Champions of Fox Stars versus the DRC was the best match of the night with the lucha-style moves of the Fox Stars and the underhanded tactics of the DRC. It was a very intense match that led to the DRC advancing to the championship. It was awesome to attend a DWO event again. I was surprised that the DRC didn't take the tournament. I enjoyed seeing all the different teams and their unique styles. The interaction between the crowd and the wrestlers was great. I enjoyed hanging out with the Lubbock fans, seeing my fellow New Mexico peeps that were able to make the show, and also the group from Amarillo. So thanks to Karen and Selena for those great comments on the show.
Yep.
We're also going to jump to Abron. Abron, let's see what this guy has to say. It's always fun going to the shows to see the wrestlers I talk with on Facebook and getting to know them. I was hoping to see some hardcore match, but maybe next time. That's why I like DWO, because they did cool matches.
They did do that. That's one thing that I was a little bummed when they were like, oh, Brute 66 is in the tournament. I was like, oh, then we're not going to see an Extreme title.
Right.
But the tournament takes precedence over that. Like
totally,
you win that plaque. That plaque was pretty cool.
Yeah,
you know, and who doesn't want to be the first one to have that?
Exactly. He did say it was fun getting to see new guys and how to get into it with rowdy fans. That last match was cool because it was kind of hard to tell who would win. I hope someday they come back to New Mexico to entertain the fans out here. We are many. Heck yeah. Said it best, Auburn. There are a lot of us. And last but not least, we got Peter writing a review. He says, what could be worth a 5-hour drive to the hot Texas sun? DWO, that's what. If you missed DWO, Martin Van Buren Invitational, then you missed one hell of a show that had great fun for everyone. One of the ways I rate something is by looking at the facial expressions of those who went with me, and smiles and laughs was a constant that night. Not only did we have amazing action in the ring, but good storylines as well. Rude Antics by MK had everyone looking for a $100 bill. That, of course, was not there. Rob Conway and Marcus House brought a good, fun feel to the show and were very awesome. My favorites by far were the Death Rage Cartel. Their weird personas had me hooked. The tag team action was great, and the talent DWO brought in for this show was amazing. Had tons of fun and would do it all again in a heartbeat.
Heck yeah, let's do it next month. Or the month after, or the month after. It was a long day, though. It was a long day for us.
Such a long day.
We left here at, what, 9:30?
Yeah, about 9:30 is when we left.
Got back at, what, 4:30?
I think it was just before we hit. We got back to Albuquerque about 4. And, yeah man, that was terrible.
Next time, if we do another one again out there, if you guys do another one out there and I make the road trip with you, do a hotel.
Yeah.
Chill for a night.
I agree.
Crash for a night.
Go eat at Pancake House.
Go eat at the Pancake House. I know, I'm so bummed that they were closed.
I know.
We had been talking about that for like weeks, that we were going to get to Texas, go eat at the Pancake House, then go to the show, and the day before we learned that the Pancake House closed at 2:30, and we weren't going to get to Texas till about 3:30.
Such a bummer.
So we stopped at A&W in Clovis again, where we ate at the Farwell show a long time ago, and very fun.
So hopefully this will be a yearly thing, man.
Dude, I really hope so. Whether I'm reffing or not, I mean, I guess this is technically the third time I've worked for a DWO show, because the Farwell show I did music.
Oh, that's right.
Remember
that? You did.
I drove out for that one to go click a button every once in a while.
Right.
It was awesome. And
this show, of course, had a much better turnout. We had roughly,
way better turnout.
I'd say about 80, 90 people in attendance.
I heard it was close to 100.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fantastic.
Dude, that's great.
For a first time, and MK was telling me that there hasn't been a show in Lubbock in over a year.
Yeah, but I don't know, because SCP was running in Lubbock. I don't think it's been a year since they've been down.
That's what he was saying. Maybe it's been close to it. It's crazy, but I don't know. 6 months at least, and
for sure.
It's been a while, but got a good turnout, and maybe next time we'll get out there and go to Walmart. There's a Walmart real close by. Go flyer Walmart all day long. And get all those people to come to the show. Yeah, we go to Walmart right after the show. We're there at 11 o'clock, and that's the busiest Walmart I've ever seen. Dude, it was crazy. That time of day. It was busier when Maria and I went earlier. We went to go get the bucket for the raffle. Okay. And and it's my fault we had to go back because I saw a Transformer, and those of you who don't know me, I love my Transformers. He says as he's wearing a Transformers hat. Has a Transformers wristband on. I have the Autobot logo tattooed. I love my Transformers. And I saw this new one, and I was like, well, I don't know if I should buy it because I was on the trip, and I got to watch my money. Yeah. And then at the end of the night, I got a few bucks, and I was like, I got money to go buy a toy, so let's go back to Walmart. And it was sitting in the exact same spot I'd left it. Totally not in the toy aisle. It was in the home furnishings where I just I was like, all right, I'd carried it around for 10 minutes. I was like, I shouldn't buy this. I put it down all sad, and it was still there waiting for me. It was fate. It was destiny. Oh. It was destiny to get it. And, I actually have it with me in the car. Have you opened it? No, I'm opening it up tonight. I'm going to hang out with a bunch of my buddies who are Transformers fans. And okay. So I'm like, I'll just take it there and open it and, have a good time tonight. But, yeah, I really hope we go back. That was awesome. It was a great show. The drive wasn't terrible. No. It was a good time. It was terrible coming back. It was a little terrible coming back. The drive at night. We had a little detour. Yeah. Maria's friend. Yeah, he glaring at that guy. Yeah. I know. Not cool, dude. Not cool. Add an extra 15 minutes on our drive, bro. No, it added an extra 30 minutes each way. Was it? Yeah. Yeah. Not cool, bro. That's all right. We love Maria, though. Yeah, she was fun. We had a good time in the car. We played. I found a WWE wrestling trivia game at Target for $6, like a few weeks before. So we took all the cards with us, and we're doing trivia in the car. And just had the road trip part was really fun.
For sure.
Which, you know, I mean, you and I have had a good time in the road trips in the past. And
we didn't see a flipped over trailer this time.
Yeah, this is our third trip together. There was the first two, we saw semis that were flipped over.
Yeah.
Both times. Trips. Didn't see one this time. I'm assuming that we passed one in the dark on the way home. That's what I'm guessing, too. We just didn't see it because it was dark. So we're still 3 for 3. The streak continues. Brock Lesnar cannot conquer this streak. But, yeah, it was really fun. I hope that it happens again. I'm hoping that more shows happen out in Lubbock from DWO.
In general, just more shows here, man.
Obviously, we can get shows here. If the New Mexico Athletic Commission can kind of pull their head out of their rectum a little bit and realize that DWO is not the same size as WWE and not the same as UFC, and that there's a different set of rules that can apply and can work that can benefit the New Mexico Athletic Commission, can benefit DWO, and can most importantly benefit the fans of New Mexico wrestling who are here and want to support wrestling.
Dedicated.
God, man.
These guys drove 5 hours for the most part. Some even more, just to come to Lubbock.
Just to come to Lubbock and watch a little bit of wrestling.
Yeah.
These guys are here. You know, if you guys can get everything organized with the New Mexico Athletic Commission, and and I've talked to multiple people, and I've looked up the stuff the New Mexico Athletic Commission wants myself, and some of it makes some sense, sure. Some of it's ridiculous.
For sure.
Like one of the things, like they want an ambulance stationed, I think, at every show, and I'm like, we all have cell phones. We all know the number for 911. It takes 5 to 10 minutes for an ambulance to get anywhere in this city.
True.
There's a number of ambulance companies, like, that shouldn't be
so many things.
Yeah.
That's for a completely different
That is, I know, man. That we could spend an hour ranting on that for sure.
Easily.
What are we at now? 40 some odd minutes right now. Yeah, we could definitely go a lot longer, but
the
Mexico Athletic Commission, curse you.
Curse you. The pictures that you guys are seeing throughout this episode were provided by pictures by Jen. Thank you so much, Jen, for allowing me to use your pictures for this episode. If you guys missed the show altogether, first of all, kick yourself in the butt. Then go and support every one of these individuals who competed in a tournament. Great tag teams, great stars. It was just an overall great show. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Kyle really enjoyed it. And again, big props to the New Mexico fan base for showing up. Karen, Selena, Peter, Abra, and Maria, you guys are awesome. Yeah. Sounds like you all enjoyed it, and I know we appreciate it. So, once again, guys, thank you so much for listening to Ring Awareness. Adam Merritt, Kyle, signing off, episode 18. I will see you guys in a couple of weeks.